The 2026 NFL offseason is underway. Let's talk about our Broncos and the talent they could add to this roster to make this team better. What's up, Broncos country? My name is Brandon Gilchrist. Here we are, NFL offseason, free agency, and the draft out in front of us. After a successful 2025 season for the Denver Broncos, we discussed potential areas on this roster where the Broncos could add talent or upgrade the existing talent that is on this roster. I want to take a deeper dive into those areas and look at some of the players that the Broncos potentially draft or add in free agency, and talk about players I would like to see the Broncos consider. The first group we're going to look at is offensive line. Now, though the Broncos offensive line produced 2 All-Pros this past season, there's still an opportunity to really upgrade this line on the left side, specifically at the left guard position. Now look, I personally think the Broncos are more likely to take a draft and develop approach here, with Ben Powers still having 1 more year left on his contract. But let's play a little. If the Broncos were to release Ben Powers and look to immediately upgrade this position through free agency, who are the players they would consider? Now, after looking at what upcoming free agent offensive linemen there are across the league, there's a few that I've identified that I think the Broncos should consider. We talked about the Broncos' upcoming free agents. When it comes to the offensive line, there's only one specific free agent that the Broncos are likely to bring back in this instance, and that's Alex Palczewski. He did a great job filling in for Ben Powers when he was out, and was also a key contributor when it came to the extra offensive linemen being brought in to add extra protection. So Alex Palczewski is a fan favorite, and I think he's a Broncos favorite as well. So I see them re-signing him. Now let's look in the open market. The first player that I think the Broncos should consider is guard Zion Johnson. Now, I know there's been mixed results on this one, but I do think he's on an upward trend, and the Broncos should strongly consider adding him to the roster if they were to immediately upgrade at the left guard position. Zion Johnson is 26, 6'3", 316 pounds. He's a first-round talent that was drafted to the Chargers in 2022. He's versatile, physical, has really solid technique, and is considered an excellent run blocker, an area where the Broncos need to get better. Though his performance has been a bit inconsistent, getting into the right system under the right coaching could help Zion Johnson blossom. So I think the Broncos should consider him. The second guard I think they should consider is Isaac Seumalo, a veteran in the NFL at 34. He's 6'4", 303 pounds, has previously played for the Eagles and the Steelers, and he earned a Pro Bowl selection in 2024. He's known for having great technique, excellent in run blocking and pass protection, with his strength really lying in his pass protection, and he's known as a bit of a mauler, which I like. I think that'd be a great compliment with Quinn Miners at the other guard position. In 2025, he played 14 games, was considered a leader and an anchor for the offensive line, but did experience a pec injury in week 8. With Isaac being a veteran and in the league since 2016, there is a chance here that he outright retires, but if he still wants to play, it'd be great to see someone like him added to the Broncos offensive line. So the biggest concern here at this point would be his age and potentially the price, but with him being towards the end of his career, there may be more motivation for him to land with the spot with high potential of winning a Super Bowl that could be a draw for him. Now, the third guard that I think the Broncos should consider is Joel Bitonio. He's another veteran at 6'4", 320 pounds. He's played his entire career with the Browns since he was drafted in 2014. He's a 2-time first-team All-Pro, 3-time second-team All-Pro, and a 7-time Pro Bowler. He's athletic, powerful, an elite pass protector, a strong run blocker, who's capable of really thriving in a zone blocking scheme. Another veteran that's considered an anchor and a leader for their offensive line. The Broncos would love to have a piece like him on their offensive line. And again, he's another one who's played his entire career on the Browns, which means he hasn't experienced a lot of team success, and at this point in his career, may be motivated to sign with a team where he has a better chance of winning a Super Bowl, if that is an aspiration for him. At the end of the day, the concern with him again is going to be his age and potentially the price. But again, there may be alternative motivations there that could potentially lure him away from the Browns or retirement. Now, a couple other offensive linemen the Broncos may consider would be David Edwards. He won a Super Bowl with the Rams and most recently played with the Bills protecting Josh Allen. He's athletic, versatile, has a high football IQ, and actually played quarterback and tight end in college, and is another offensive lineman that is considered a strong run blocker. Again, an area the Broncos need to improve. The big concern with him is his pass protection. That is a weaker part of his game, but it may be something the Broncos want to consider with the need to boost their run game performance in 2026. Another strong depth piece for them could be Dylan Radins. He's 27, huge at 6'6", but only 301 pounds. He most recently played for the Saints, is versatile, tough, another guard that's considered a mauler who plays through the whistle. He was signed as a backup in 2025, but was forced into a starting role and only allowed 1 sack. The concern with him is obviously the consistency in his play, which means he may be better suited for a depth role in this offensive line room. If the Broncos look to upgrade in free agency, those are the players that I'd be looking at for that left guard position, which is really where we need that upgrade. Everywhere else in the offensive line, I think the Broncos will look to the draft in more of a draft and develop for the eventual retirement of a Garrett Bowles and or Mike McGlinchey. And again, I personally think the Broncos are just going to ride out Ben Powers' contract. He only has 1 more year. So in this instance, I ultimately think the Broncos will draft and develop a replacement guard, but we'll see what the Broncos do. What do you think the Broncos will do when it comes to the offensive line in free agency? Do you think they'll add somebody? Do you think this is an area they even look at? Or will they just focus on the draft for this area? Let me know in the comments. As always, be kind. Talk to you soon, Broncos country.